brightest and best. Every summer on the island of Sodor they hold a friendly competition for every station, and the engines love that time of the year when there's a lot of work to be done. One evening the Fat Controller came to the sheds. The inspector is going to give a prize to the station that will look the brightest and the best, he said. And you ought to look shiny and clean for when he comes. Also, you can only choose one station to enter for the competition. The engines were excited. My favourite station is Wellsworth, said Edward. Mine's Wayside, said Duck. Mine's got to be for Farquhar, said Toby. What's your favourite station, Thomas? Asked Percy. I'm not sure, replied Thomas. I love every station on the island, but I can't decide which one to enter. How about Elsbridge station, suggested Percy. After all, it is on your branch line. What a good idea, said Thomas. It'll be nice if the narrow gauge engines won a prize too. We can both enter that station. The next morning, Thomas and Percy went to Elsbridge station. I need you all to look your best, because we're going to enter your station for the competition, said Percy. A competition? Asked Phineas. I love a competition, said Sam. And it'd be nice if I got a prize, agreed Duke. I am the oldest engine here. Right, said Percy. There is a lot to do. First, you all need to be cleaned. We want the inspector to think that you're the brightest and the best, said Thomas. Later that day, Percy came with a truck full of flags. Just then Scarlery and Fearless Radio arrived, looking shiny and clean. You look like you're ready for the competition, said Percy. Are you entering Elsbridge Station too? No, replied Fearless Reddy. We're going to be entering Wayside Village Station for the competition, said Scarlery, with Peter, Sam, Duck and Henry. Suit yourselves, said Percy, but don't be too disappointed if your station doesn't win. We won't, said the two engines, and then they set off. But then Thomas arrived. It's time for us to get scrubbed and polished for the competition, he said. But when Thomas and Percy arrived at the fitters' yard, Gordon and James were there, already being cleaned. Hurry up, said Percy. We have to get cleaned as well. Well, we were here first, huffed Gordon. Important engines like us always goes first. And besides, said James, we've entered Knapford Station for the competition, and we know that's going to win. Don't be too sure about it, James, said Thomas. It's up to the inspector if your station's going to win. But it wasn't long until Thomas and Percy were having their washdown. Now I definitely feel like I'm ready for the competition, said Percy. Me too, agreed Thomas. And it doesn't matter if we don't win. We're doing this for the narrow gauge engines. Then the Fat Controller arrived. You both look shiny and clean, he said to Thomas and Percy. You better hurry back to the station. Bertie the bus will be bringing me and the inspector to each station. Later, Bertie collected the Fat Controller and the inspector and took them to every station in the island. First they went to Wellsworth, then for Farquhar, Knapford and Wayside. Thomas, Percy, Sir Handel, Rusty, Duncan, Renee, Duke and Mighty Mac were waiting for Bertie to bring the Fat Controller and the inspector. Remember to look your best, said Percy, and don't be disappointed if we don't win, said Thomas. We won't, said Rusty, and it doesn't matter if we don't, agreed Duncan. Just then Bertie arrived. This is it, said Duke. The inspector looked around the station and made some notes in a small book. Then he turned to the Fat Controller. I need to discuss something with you privately, he whispered. He climbed back inside Bertie, and then they drove off. Which station do you think is the best one for the competition? The Fat Controller asked the inspector. Well, to tell you the truth, the inspector replied, I really like seeing all the stations, but I can't decide. Knapford Station's the biggest one of all. Wayside Village is a pretty sight, and I really like for Farquhar and Wellsworth too. So I should think they should all get a prize. I agree, said the Fat Controller. But there is a very special prize, the Inspector continued, and I would like to give it to Elsbridge Station. It may be the smallest station, but it's also the busiest one too. Later that evening, the Fat Controller told all the engines how proud he was with them, and how to look respectful for the Inspector. Thomas and Percy were particularly pleased, because their station won a special prize. "I'm glad the narrow gauge engines won something," said Percy. "And they wouldn't have done it without your help," agreed Thomas. "You made the right choice for entering that station."